This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, it is 6:35 on February 26th. I'll call the Cottage Grove Fire District Commission to order. We have a quorum present. The agenda was posted at the town and at the village. We have the minutes of the January 22nd meeting in your packet.
I'll move approval, except I gotta spell my name right.
Get used to it.
Did we miss it again?
Yes.
Hold on. Apologies. I want to make sure I get it right this time. How did I spell it last time? So D-U-P-L-A.
It's D-U capital P.
Capital P. Okay. One note, okay, autocorrect every time. Sorry about that. I will fix it.
Okay, we had a motion and a second to approve as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried.
Who seconded that one? Steve?
Pick one. Yeah.
Cool.
Duplay made it.
I made it.
Anders second.
Thank you.
Public appearances, public's opportunity to speak about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. We have so many here. We'll go to chief's report then.
Right, total staff is sitting at 43 members right now. 10 officers, 2 driver operators, 29 firefighters, and 2 probationary. Department's currently at 66, plus 1 exposure call for service, 221. Throughout the weekend and up till now, I think we're actually more like 72 now. It's averaging about 1.27 calls per day. If we were to continue, we would finish the year around 463 calls for service. Mutual aid breakdown is 8 mutual aid calls, 26 calls in the village, 15 in Pleasant Springs, and 17 in the town of Cottage Grove. Final engineering of the new squad was completed by Pierce. They're estimating July or August for its delivery, so we'll say more like probably September or November. We put 2 new battery operated chainsaws into service, and then we tested them on a homemade training prop. They function pretty well, so we're gonna try and get rid of the old gasoline power saws that we don't need. Training for January was rapid intervention team drills. That drill is rescuing down firefighters. So training for February will be air consumption and fit testing. Fit testing is testing our masks to make sure that they fit properly using a machine. And then the air consumption is we put all the gear on and time how long an air bottle will last when we're working under full working conditions. Trainings are on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Tuesdays of every month at 6:30 p.m. Members of the municipal boards are all invited to attend any and all trainings. There's a question about that before. Department added 1 member in February, which was Anthony Cable. He's already completed his fire academy. He's just got to take the certification test with the state for Fire 1 and Fire 2. So. We also interviewed another member in February, and I just got another application yesterday. So they'll both be brought up at the March meeting. So potentially 2 more people if they both get voted on. Staff milestones. Dennis Larson's got 35 years. Tom Loud has 4. Jake Vetter has 2. And Paul Wendricks has 26 years.
False alarm still an issue?
false alarms, it's not so much the commercial structures right now, it's more like people with ADT. A lot of people,
Oh,
you'll set off your home alarm burning, like cooking food,
yeah.
and if you don't answer your telephone, then they call 911. And then we show up and they go, what are you guys doing here? Didn't answer the phone, so we're here. You know, that's happening quite a bit. We're also seeing a pretty large increase in EMS calls. We're up over 40% for EMS related calls this year now. So,
Have you
Is that
two
just-
had a conversation yet?
I mean, we have talked about it.
Is that just assisting or?
We're getting called to assist, we're getting called to drive the ambulance for them. So it's kind of a mixed bag of what we're being called for. If the ambulance isn't in district, they're calling us, hoping that we can respond faster than them getting back into service. So that's happened quite a few times now. So
I can see both sides of the situation here. You know, you hate to pull a rig out of service, you know, if
you know,
to just for one person and
so I had this conversation with a couple people, Christy and Chris, about drivers. And we don't mind doing it when it's justified, like you're doing CPR, P&Bs, that kind of thing, but it seems like we're kind of creeping up into what we're being asked to drive for. There's more and more calls where it's like, we need a driver. And it's, do you really need a driver? It's kind of the question that we're facing. We're trying to get squared away, like, do you really need another person in the ambulance for this one if it's a minor call? You know, that's where we're kind of struggling right now. Like I said, we have no problem helping where we're needed, but we're getting to the point where some of them, it's like, could have probably done this one on your own kind of thing, but we're probably going to continue having conversations with them about that. So.
I guess this is just my opinion. I guess I would like to be kept abreast of what kind of discussions they're having and what, if anything, can be done to potentially mitigate your time, you know, I mean, the department's time. As opposed to, you know, I mean, yeah, having been on the other side of the coin here, there are times when, yeah, you need two people because you're getting, you know, to the ambulance or to the hospital and stuff.
Yep.
But, you know, I guess what's our deputy's policy as far as assisting as a driver?
Deputy,
Our contract deputies.
They don't assist.
They don't,
No.
depending on the medical call, sometimes they're not even coming to the call, depending on what it is, you know. If it's a minor-
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's just if it's a know nothing, correct. I get that. I mean, it's been that way forever. You
Yeah.
know, what about the village PD?
Depends, sometimes they do, sometimes the village PD will drive the ambulance, if we're not there and they don't request us. There's some that are doing that, where they're having PD drive the ambulance every once in a while. But overwhelmingly, we get a special page and then we respond and provide a driver. So,
This definitely feels like new information for me.
What's that?
This feels like new information to me.
I mean, it's been slowly creeping up, you know. It started last year. We had some conversations about it. It got a little bit better. And then this year, it's kind of just shot up.
Took off like a rocket.
It's a normal year for us. we're in like the 20% range for EMS assists. Unlike this year, we're already mid-40s. So
So, okay, outside of the driver situation, what do you have concerns with that you are being asked to help with?
most of them were not an issue. Like if it's P&B, overdose, choking, we understand those calls. That makes sense. But we're on those for automatic aid. It's the ones where it's like the ambulances in Deerfield, so they want us to respond first and get there first, which we're not EMTs. Some of us are, but like,
You never know who's going to respond.
let's just say, so I'm on the car or April's on the car, we're both EMTs, but we're not covered by Deer Grove scope because we're not part of their agency. So I can't technically perform EMT skills on a patient when I get there. So why? So even if we get there first, what if we look at them basically?
Standing around
Kind of
them?
just stand there and, I mean, maybe give them an update, but there's not much we can do, So those ones are those are like borderline, like why are we being added to that? And,
I get that.
You and Eric have to work it out.
Right.
Is this something you want either this body or the town or the village to?
No, I was just kind of bringing it up because you were wondering why the call volumes are getting higher. I mean, that's a big part of it. The conversation when I had it with a few other people was that we should talk to Chief Lang and see if we can make it better by talking between the two chiefs. So we'll start there, and if it continues, then maybe we'll bring it up and see if there's another way to address it. Or
Yeah.
because it's like the big thing is we're taking 40-some volunteers away from their family or work and once again, if it's a legitimate call, no problem. Nobody has a problem with that. It's when it's like some of these ones that they're kind of questionable, then people question it, especially if it's during the day. And there's a staff member that's on shift. So
Just keep us apprised as to how your
Yeah.
conversation goes. Moving on to discuss and consider generator maintenance and recommendations and cost quotes. So they came this month and did the plan checklist on the generator. While they were there, they called and wanted to know about replacing the battery because it was over 3 years old. I gave them permission to change that while they were here. But then they came back with this planned maintenance checklist. And I asked them for the quote as to what it would cost to do everything. And of course, we didn't budget for $4,500 worth of work, but we've never really had any major issues with it in the 25 years that we've had it. So it's probably time that some of that stuff does need to be replaced. We would certainly have the money in the building fund. So the question is, do we want to give them approval to do those things or not?
I'll make a motion to approve the generator maintenance recommendations and cost quote as presented. To not exceed, was it 49?
44,7208.
So not to exceed $4,500.
And that money to come from the building maintenance.
And funds to come from the ESB fund.
Okay. The motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and consider sale of the old pagers, saws, and distribution of the proceeds.
So we got the two new gas or battery powered saws that replaced two of them that were on engine 3 and engine 4. We took one of those saws and moved it to the squad because the squad did not have a chainsaw. So we have one chainsaw that we're looking to sell. That one was a donated saw from Steel. We got that probably 3 or 4 years ago now. And then we replaced the sawzall because we were having problems with the chuck. It would always be stuck when we needed to put a blade in it. So we got two old M26 Milwaukee saws that don't really support anymore. So we're looking to sell those. And then the pagers from the pager replacement, all the old pagers. So
And you take these to Wisconsin surplus?
yeah, one of our members offered to sell the pagers because he thought he could get more for them per pager, but I don't know if we want to. I don't know how long it's going to take to get more for them, or we just want to sell the pagers and get rid of it.
I'd rather just go Wisconsin surplus, get it over with.
I would say the saw that Steel donated, whatever you get from that, we should probably just let the association have that money. And the old Milwaukee, they're so old, I don't know if we could find when they were bought.
I don't think you're gonna be talking about a lot of money for those.
No.
Yeah, some like 20 bucks maybe.
Honestly, I just assume give for the pagers and the saws, just for this, for the hassle, just give it back to the Cottage Grove Fire Department, Inc.
Fine with that.
I mean, is the juice worth the squeeze? Did you
Yeah.
Are we really gonna sit and count pennies and let's just give it back to the fire department?
Is that a motion?
I gotta think, okay, yeah, so Peterson, made a motion to approve the sale of the old pagers and saws, via Wisconsin surplus, and any proceeds to be donated
Go to the association.
back to the Cottage Grove Fire Department Association.
And is there a second?
Second.
Second by Anders. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss, consider surplus from the pager replacement capital project.
So we tried out that system we talked about last month about the VR. They came in, they demoed it for us in February, and it's really nice. It's a nice thing to have, but we're still trying to figure out, is it that nice to be worth that, the kind of money that they're asking for it? So we still got to go back to the association at the March business meeting and see if they want to spend them, because there's going to be, we have money left from the Ascendium grant. We'd be looking to use the surplus from the pagers, and it would still take money from the association to cover the cost of this. So if the members don't feel like this is a worthwhile investment, then we'd be probably done with that and be looking at maybe something else to use those funds for, or they could just go back to the municipalities too, but total cost?
Yeah.
Total cost for the system was like $63,000. So we have 45 left from our grant.
We had
And then it'd
about
be like
10,000 from
yeah, almost 10 from you guys.
budgeted for the pagers
Then it'd be like 10 or 11 from the association. So
So do we want to table this till next month
Yeah.
after you have your meeting and talk about it again?
I would say table it now if you can.
We will put it on the next agenda. Future agenda items, anything else?
Yeah, all I have is pager project surplus.
We'll talk about it next meeting again.
And And then just update on the generator repairs. Make sure they didn't find anything else.
Do you want an update on the fire EMS thing that we talked about?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we'll put that as an agenda
Oh, we
item.
make it official. Okay, EMS call updates. EMS call frequency updates.
Okay,
Next meeting.
got those three things plus the chief's report.
Change your guys' elections.
Hmm,
When do you guys elect for, or switch?
May.
that's May.
It's May, okay.
I've got Monday, March 25th.
I'm not gonna be here.
Where are you going?
I'm told I'm going to
Norway again?
Going on spring break.
Grand Canyon. I'm told I'm going to Grand Canyon.
Oh,
Really South Padre.
Weren't you there once up before?
Yeah. I'm told I'm going again.
You've done the whole week?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Week
What
before?
about the Thursday before?
Yeah, I was gonna say. 21st?
EMS at night.
about the 20th.
We have a village board meeting. We had to move because elementary school has Strings Fest on Monday, the 18th. Do we want to do?
April 4th?
Sure. Works for me.
Works. I mean,
Fourth.
can we move landfill to April 4th then too?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Who's gonna change? Yeah.
All right.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We do it.
Motion and a second for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Thank you. Let's see.
Excuse me.